Hello, so I'm here to talk to you about my dissertation project, which is due in at the end of the month, so it's all a bit stressful at the minute. But the lovely Emma has been so kind as to help me the whole way through this, and I just wanted to say thank you so much for everything. But my sort of journey with seagrass started last year. I don't think I really knew much about seagrass until last year. It's a bit embarrassing. It's fine. When I met the lovely Project Seagrass team in Dale, where my project was based, so it's quite a coincidence. So Dale is lovely, and just along a little bit further down there, there's a lovely seagrass meadow that was sort of not doing so well, and then Project Seagrass stepped in and restored it, and it looks beautiful now, I'll tell you that. But this was me on my way out to see it for the first time with Flo. There's me there, looking really excited. You can't tell by my face because it's hidden, but I was so excited to see it. And this wasn't the only time that I got to see this before I started my project. In May of 2025, I had the opportunity to be part of the first ever team to plant seagrass via freediving in the UK, so that was really exciting. Thank you again, Project Seagrass. But this whole journey started for me in November in a meeting where we were discussing, stuff to do during my internship with Project Seagrass, and Emma said, oh, we want to do some biodiversity monitoring, is there anything you can do? So I suggested BRUVs. They're baited remote underwater video systems. It sounds really complicated, but it's basically just a big metal frame with a camera and some fish on it. Fish love it. These boys are just so as I know where it is, but other than that, fairly simple. Plop it in, there you go, and you get to see lovely stuff like this small spotted cat shark. So I set out in August of 2025 to do my project. I was really excited. As you can see, I had my BRUVs set up. I had two. I was going to place one on bare sediment and one within the meadow, just to compare and contrast, see what was going on, what the biodiversity was like in comparison. And then I got in the water. Yeah, so the weather had been beautiful up until about 2 days before I got there. As you can tell, I'm not from Wales, I'm from the contentious Northern Ireland region that Alice talked about. So this purple line is how fast the wind was going, sort of 50 kilometers an hour. Not great, and this is rainfall, sort of pretty heavy. So I had to change my plans and change it quick because my dissertation's due in early, it's due in at the end of February. So Emma again stepped in and was really helpful and offered me up footage using this contraption, which is very similar to the BRUVs, but there's no bait on it. So this frame is called the Microlander, and in it is a camera called the Subcam 2, and it was loaned to them by the lovely company Pebble, which are a community interest company that offer sort of cost-effective solutions to marine monitoring. So this recorded similar things to actually what I was looking at, which was bare sediment and seagrass. And I was going to compare and contrast it with some BRUVs that I had done on my year in industry that I was planning on using in my study anyway, because they were within the seagrass area. But it was just really handy to have both. So what did we see on these lovely subcam footage? This is a shoal of sprat. There were actually 12 of them there, but it was really hard to get them all in one frame. Yes, I did sit and count them all. But what's really interesting is we deployed a BRUVs on my year in industry on the exact same day. Yes, this is really zoomed in, but there were more of them. This is just the only picture I had. And it was at roughly the same time of day, sort of a few meters apart, and it was the same shoal came through. So whether they were attracted by the food or not, who knows? We also saw, it's really hard to see in this picture, I apologise, but this is called a sea hare, which you might have seen in Emma's PowerPoint. They look kind of like this. So again, these were seen roughly in the same area, on the same day, in a similar sort of site. I can't tell if it's the same one, but it is really cool to see them. They're a type of slug. Slugs in the sea are prettier than on land, so it's a bonus. You really can't tell in this picture, but if you see on this video, on the BRUVs we got a lot more transient visitors. So this is the small spotted cat shark I talked about, whereas on the subcam you saw a lot more stationary stuff. And on the subcam in the seagrass, unfortunately, we didn't actually see that much biodiversity, so I was trying to see, kind of prove that it would be more biodiverse in the seagrass, but in my footage it wasn't, which is a shame, and statistics are annoying, but it's fine. But what I did see was a lot of these guys. See if you can spot them. He is over somewhere, which are, that's another one, juvenile pollock, which are really, really cool. And it does prove, not prove, but support evidence that seagrass meadows are being used as like a nursery habitat. So in sort of comparing and contrasting, neither option is better for monitoring. It's like things need to be tweaked and changed just to suit the environment rather than it being a one or the other scenario for the different methods. Thanks for listening to me. You are going to get to ask everyone a question at some point, I think, but yeah, thank you.